All right, one great Michael presentation leading to the next great Michael presentation. We've got Michael Anschel coming up next. He's going to speak on AI in home improvement. Now, Michael is known for his thought leadership in a variety of different mediums. He is also owner of OA Design, Build, and Architecture and CEO of Verified Green Inc. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Thank you, Michael.
Good morning. I feel like I need to go get some Prozac or something after that. Wow. I actually got super sucked up into that presentation, and I almost forgot to go get mic'd up. Economists are fascinating. Since I don't know most of you, and I imagine most of you don't know me, before I dive into this, super short, quick background. So I have been in this industry for 31 years. This is our 31st year of building. I do not come from a family of tradespeople. I never thought I would be in the building industry. I was on path with a full ride to become a genetic engineer. So I have a huge love of the biological life sciences. I lived in China for 3 years, in Japan for a year, before getting into this. And for many, many, many years, green building was the cornerstone of what our company did, starting in the early 2000s. And we did a deep dive into building science. And I do a lot of teaching and training on building science. But today I'm going to talk about AI. So why technology? Arguably, technology is really no different than any of the other sciences. The way that it evolves and grows, the process of understanding it is very similar. And whether or not we choose to integrate and adopt those sciences in our businesses, some are very accessible and consumer friendly, but others, they're all there. Chemistry is part of our daily lives. We use it whether it's in our fabrics or our supplements or our medications. So science is a core part of everything that we do. And my approach to understanding and thinking about AI is very much rooted in the same way that I've understood the other sciences and then chosen to apply those to our business. So if it's building materials, building performance, hydrothermal analysis, insulation, heat flow, vapor flow, all of those same things, right? They're all translate to basically the same stuff. So also, because I'm one of these people who takes pictures of slides, there's the QR code, there's the presentation. I know you're going to get it as well, but this is, because it's a Prezi, it's an interactive presentation, so you can scan it. Now you all have the presentation, and then you can do like a screenshot on your phone, which is better than taking a photo of the screen. After yesterday's presentation, I also wanted to add a couple thoughts. The first, there was a comment made about AI being dependable. And I think there's a huge misunderstanding when we talk about AI. So first, there is technology. Everybody has AI embedded in their technology today. And it's to the point of, like, it's kind of too much, right? Everything is powered by AI. That's not really AI. That's maybe some coding, maybe some very, very narrow intelligence that's being, put. Spell check technically is AI, right? But we wouldn't consider that like hyper innovative. And grammar check, right? Things where predictive text. That's technically AI, but not really. It's not really doing any thinking. When we talk about AI and we talk about the changes ahead, we have to understand that what makes AI valuable is the idea that it's an intelligence, okay? And a distinction between an intelligence and a machine. Machines are very good at replicating tasks over and over and over and over again. Agreed? Okay? When I use my Excel spreadsheet, I expect that when I put a formula in, I will get the same answer regardless. Yes? Number of times I run that formula, it's going to get me the same answer. That is not how intelligence works. That's a machine. That's code, basic code. If I ask any one of you a question, tell me about yesterday, and then I were to ask you the same question 10 minutes later, would I get an identical response? No. I could deliver this presentation hundreds of times, and each time I deliver it, it would be slightly different. Because I'm thinking about the words that are going to come out of my mouth, and I don't actually know what the next word is going to be until it emerges, and sometimes those words take you down like a really weird path, and you end up in this like, wow, how did I end up saying that? That's not, now I got to kind of dial all that back. That is the beauty of AI, is that it's very creative. It mimics, or eventually will be similar or on par with, when we talk about AGI, or the superintelligence, with the way that our brains evaluate the world and infer meaning, right? Because our brains create meaning. That's what we do as human beings. We're meaning-making machines. And we are contextual. Everything that we understand as human beings is contextual and relative to something else. See? The science. There it is. Right? You can only understand something as it relates to something you already understand. Think about that. You can only understand something as it relates to something you already understand. When we train an LLM, when we train an AI, we're training it on what? What we already know, or what we already understand. Therefore, contextually, it only understands what it already knows, except that AI is not a human brain, and it doesn't have the same constraints that we do, which is the piece that is most exciting, is that eventually, the theory is, within the next 2 years, we will have a thing that can think differently than we do, and that will drive rapid expansion and change in how we are able to embrace technology and utilize it to our own ends. So, key distinction. The other, I thought it was really interesting. Matt talked about the convergence of cohorts, lifetimes, and periods. And as we look at all this economic data, which is all about what people are spending and what they're making and stuff like that, I am really curious about how we're able to predict or layer in those three things. That really struck me as interesting. And the perfect place to utilize AI. That is me, is that's going to be real, as we do analysis going forward, the sweet spot will be, how do we use AI to kind of layer and merge things that get to be too complicated or don't fit inside an Excel spreadsheet because they're not numbers. And the last one, just because I've been listening to the book Abundance, I don't know if anybody's read that book yet, by Ezra Klein. It's a fascinating book about our economy and how we've may have screwed things up unintentionally. But they note that there is a shift from collectivism in the United States that existed kind of up until the 1960s, and then a switch to individualism. And one of the comments yesterday was about how we have become more individualistic. But then also this comment in another presentation about the housing data, saying we're short all of this housing, but then there's some lifestyle changes that are different. And just this year alone, we had 6 requests for multi-generational new construction. I have never had that in 30 years. 6 people called up and said, we want a brand new house so that our parents and us and our children can all live together. And we're merging estates. We're selling one house, and we're going to expand that house. We've got a piece of land, and that's where we're going to put the thing. I think there might maybe something there. Maybe we're evolving here in the U.S. to look more like the rest of the world, where there is more multi-generational living. So, last thing, before I dive into the AI part. Dave was around here somewhere. Where'd he go? There was a question about human interaction. And I think it's really key for us to understand, when we use language like human interaction, what we really mean. I don't think that anybody in this room would say that they've had a commission sales experience that they have enjoyed. And by your laughter, I'm going to take that as acknowledgement. Nobody likes a commission salesperson. They suck. They're trying to sell, and you know it. Pressure sales, one-day close. It's the worst of the worst. That is not healthy, desired human interaction. That's why Amazon online shopping is so big and powerful, because I swipe to buy. I don't have to deal with driving, talking to somebody. I just need the thing. When we desire human interaction is at the point of frustration. It's at the point where I have a question. I don't understand the difference between this product, and this little description is not same, apples to apples. I can't quickly understand where's a person who understands, who is knowledgeable, and can give me the information quickly. So, human interaction, as you're looking at integrating AI tools, understand the difference between frictionless and friction, and when friction is desired and when it is not. And that is kind of the beauty of it, is that if you look at that process and you say, okay, at the point where there is concern, the point where there is upset, the point where there is question, that's where I want to have a human being available to be involved, just for this brief moment, and then they go away. Because that's what we really want in a transactional relationship. Different than experiential, I'm in design build, long-term relationship, emotional journey, creative collaboration. That's a very different thing. But I'm not selling windows, siding, roofing, fences, decks, right? We're selling a design build experience that changes your life, that is based on a life event or a growth event, where you are paying us $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in design fees, not for our design expertise really, but so you can have the journey of going through design, right? And that is a human process. But it can be augmented and supplemented by all of the stuff I'm going to show you now. How is that for a preamble? All right. This also for fun, bonus content. I'm going to talk about Agentic AI and Sovereign AI. This is a PDF of a shed concept that we developed when COVID hit, and suddenly we were no longer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We were no longer in people's homes, right? You're out of the house, and we thought, oh snap, that's it. We're done. We're out of business. We have to innovate. So let's build freestanding office buildings, home spaces. We can put it in your backyard, and they're small enough, and they're freestanding, so I don't need a permit. And I could execute quickly on them. Well, I took that, and this is just 2 PDFs, and I fed it into an Agentic AI tool. It took 11 minutes and 41 seconds, and it generated a website. And I just took a couple screenshots of the website. It took those images, it created packages, it created pricing. It built a whole website on a basic concept that we could deploy in under 15 minutes. An editable, usable website with forms, fill out, contact us, the whole 9 yards. That is the playing field of this year. That's where we're at right now. 15 minutes from I have a concept to here's something that's market ready that I can push out to the public. That looks decent. Decent enough to get a click. Decent enough to get a lead. Started late, so my clock is off, but we'll get through it. All right, in 4 years, how far have we come? Well, 4 years ago, we were talking about API integrations. And how are we going to make all that stuff talk to each other? Today, we can take an image and we can render onto that image. If you like cats, there's cats in your kitchen, and if you don't like cats, there's dogs. Now, all of the video generation in this I created before the launch of Sora 2, which is dramatically better. So I apologize if the graphics aren't as awesome as they could be, but that's where we're at right now. We were in early generative AI like DALL-E, and you could make little cute pictures with your AI, to the natural language interfaces of our LLMs, multimodal language models. And now we have really good artificial narrow intelligence. These are all little bots that can communicate with you, answer questions, and do stuff like that. And we are moving into Agentic AI. Eric Schmidt, I'm borrowing his quote, ride the wave and ride it every day. The number one takeaway from today is AI is most scary when standing on the shore. And it is a lot less scary if you're in the water and you just go out and you try and surf a little bit every day, right? In the water, the waves are not as scary as they are standing on the shore watching them crash into you. We are at I'm going to say, event horizon moment in our human and technology relationships. Maybe the most significant development in the relationship between humans and technology ever. And that is that technology is now adapting to us. So think about that. In the history of technology, from fire, the Bronze Age to today, technology is now, for the first time ever, adapting to us. It is trying to figure out what we want and how it can help us be successful. It is modifying itself to fit our way of doing and being. We've already seen AI in our workspace.